Good morning, my friends. We are late. Welcome to the hot mess of Ann Ferguson's Leaning In with Life today. You want to be a hot mess with me? Stick around, okay? Because that's what we're doing today. Today, we're actually talking about whether or not you're lucky. Are you lucky? So, some people feel like, I'm just lucky. And other people go, they have all the luck. Question is, where do you sit? For me today, we had a situation last night, kind of made me feel unlucky. And, working through it, we were sitting at a computer. Anybody who knows about Apple IDs, we got it all jacked up with my new setup for the podcast. And one thing after another kept going wrong, and then wrong, and then wrong, and then wrong. And then what can happen is you can get all discombobulated. I woke up discombobulated. Have you ever felt that? It's a great word, discombobulated. So I am not all ready today with a lot of profound insights for you. I'm just feeling a little unlucky, which is funny because that's what we were going to talk about today. So I'm going to apply what I know how to do in these situations. So yesterday we talked about that there's laws of thought that govern how things go down and whether or not you're connected into your dreams. I want to know what kind of a dreamer you are too. So those of you who show up here. So you can be a realist. That means get your head out of the freaking clouds. Let's look at reality. Stay down on the ground. Are you an optimist? Dreamer, meaning anything can happen. I just know anything can happen and you don't have your feet on the ground and you're just kind of floating all up in the air all the time? Are you somewhere in the middle? So this is how to dream responsibly. The first thing you've got to do is you got to decide, what do you want? So I went years without dreaming. I dreamt that I could keep my kids alive. But as far as anything else, like I wouldn't even open the ads at the newspaper, even the dollar store ads, because I didn't have enough money. And so if I looked, then maybe I'd want something. And then if I wanted something that I couldn't have, then I would look at my situations about all the reasons why I couldn't have what I wanted to have. And then I would get either down and depressed or resentful. And I didn't want to resent my kids. I didn't want to resent my husband. It was just life. I was being an adult. And adults, they dig deep and they do what they got to do and they don't dream. That's what I was taught. Don't dream. Don't dream. That's not adulting. That is, daydreamers are children. Right? So I followed the plan and I didn't dream. And it didn't go so well because I didn't keep my eyes on what I wanted the most. And so life happened to me. I thought that life happened to me. The reality was I just wasn't thinking. I was just letting stuff happen. And then my thought processes, my belief was I had to deal valiantly with whatever came my way. And all of the struggles and the trials and everything of life meant that God loves me. Because, that's what he does to those he loves. He puts them through trials and challenges and all that. And that was a false belief, guys. And it doesn't help. So, we are going to talk about the law of transmutation. That means we're changing something from one form into another. My dreams when I got married were pretty solid. This is what it looks like. This is what the house is going to look like. And I'm going to have kids. And I'm going to have this. And we're going to have family reunions when the kids get older. And I'm going to bake with my cute little apron on. And all of my plans. This is what it's going to look like. And then the trial started. I accepted them as trials and I lost sight of my dreams. And because I lost sight of the dreams, I lost the ability to hear the steps I needed to take to get to the dream. I was just putting out fires. Anybody else feel like you're just like kind of always putting out fires? Just stomping on them? You can't ever catch up. I kind of felt like that today. So what I did was I connected with God this morning, and then I got down a rabbit hole of study. And I looked up and I went, crap, I'm going to be late. And so I feel a little rushed today. I don't know, honestly, I don't want to be here. I want to be at the park. I don't want to have to be profound and cool and talk to you. Because I'm just not feeling it. That's okay. You know why? Because I have a different dream of supporting people. And when you don't want to do things, the dream actually helps you, right? So dreaming matters. When I talk about transmutation, let's talk about water for a minute. This is coming from instruction and profound mentorship in the programs of Leslie Householder over at Rare Faith. Great, great, great stuff. So if you have a thought, like an idea out there, it's kind of like vapor. Sort of tangible, not really. We're also going to call this like those Polaroid cameras? It's like a Polaroid camera, right? You take the picture and you kind of know you've directed it somewhere, but it hasn't come into full force. Okay, then there are clouds. Clouds is like when the vapor kind of condenses and it comes together and water droplets hit together and now they're forming clouds. They're gathering. That's like when you start flapping that photo. We're going to attach this to your dreams in just a second. You start flapping it and you start kind of seeing things come into shape, right? Okay, then let's go back to water. The clouds are bumping together. The molecules, the air droplets and water droplets are bumping together so much that it becomes heavy and gravity takes over and pulls, sucks that right down into something that's really tangible, something that we can feel. So here we have our thoughts are kind of out there, they're vapor. Then we form a cloud. That's when like the idea hits and you're like, oh my gosh, you start thinking about the idea of whatever it is. And then when it starts to rain, that's when belief happens. That's when you're like, I totally believe that. It's tangible. I feel it drags down into me. And then we have the moment where it solidifies. That's when the rain comes down and it actually changes into ice. Like maybe it's cold enough. There are elements that are surrounding that gather together and do things that are acted upon it. And now it's solid. Now it's a tangible thing. Same thing with your dreams. Once you have a belief in you, then what happens is all of the reasons why that's important and all of the nurture and things that need to come together for it to happen, it all shows up. And it becomes really solid and tangible. Now that's really cool. Guess what? It does the opposite thing too. When you start to doubt, just like water, sun comes out, heats up the ice. What happens? The water goes back up into the air and eventually just turns to vapor again. So doubt and fear totally have the ability to change how we're thinking. So you got to hold on to something long enough for it to be real. There's a lot of different techniques for this. You ever had a vision board? Anybody ever have a vision board? So the purpose of a vision board is to keep something in your head long enough that it's what you want. And you go, oh, I'm not going to forget this dream. I'm going to put it right there. The problem with vision boards is if you are like, yeah, but I'm never going to get there every time you see it, then what's happening is you're putting into your body all of the stuff that makes it go away. So let's talk about luck for a minute. Living under correct knowledge. To be lucky, you have to get whatever it is that you would love into belief. And when it sits in belief, then all sorts of other elements come on. So I see a lot of people doing affirmations, and they're doing declarations, and they're doing vision boards in order to generate belief. And it's kind of not the right process. Belief is your feelings. Did you know that? Belief is what you feel. So when you create a vision, if you sit and feel it first, like what would it feel like if, and then you write your vision statement, or then you put your picture on the board. I had this one woman, she was great. She wanted to go to Italy. So she had Italy on her vision board. She said every time she saw it, she saw how much money she didn't have. I got really frustrated. And I said, well, let's go into the why. Why do you want to go to Italy? She goes, because I need to get away with my husband. And I go, okay. So why do you need to get away with your husband? She goes, we just need to have fun. We just need to connect. I go, okay, so what you want is fun and connection. So let's just go to Italy for a minute in your mind. What does it look like? What does it feel like? She goes, I don't know. I go, well, are you in Rome or where? She goes, no, we're in southern Italy. I go, okay, southern Italy. That sounds good. There you go. And if you're in southern Italy, are you by the sea? She goes, yeah, by the sea. And I go, okay, is the wind blowing? And she goes, it's through my hair. And I go, okay, so southern Italy, coastal, wind is blowing through your hair. What are you and your husband doing? And she finally just sat and dreamed. She thought, oh, we're like eating gelato on a cobblestone street. And when she said it, you could feel the belief. Like she started to get excited about the day that she was going to eat gelato on the cobblestone street. And I go, there it is. Can you feel it? She goes, yeah, I can totally feel it. That is what you do. Now, she goes, okay, so did I put the name Italy back up on my vision board? And I go, no, hon, put a picture of a cobblestone street in Italy. That's what generated the emotion that made this believable. So in order to hold something long enough that all the things you need come into being, you've got to feel it, like really, really feel the possibility of it. So I had this gentleman, it was so beautiful. He was in my class. And we were learning about this law, and he shared a dream with me. He said that, it's funny, it's all Italy. He was dreaming, literally at sleep, at night, had a dream that he was in an Italian village and had just been walking around the streets. It was about day 3, and he came upon this 3-story Italian structure. And he said it was so beautiful. Like, he specifically, like the 3rd level, the details in the architecture were just amazing. And around it, he said it felt like it was kind of untouched. Like even the grass and stuff was untouched. He contemplated like what kind of thought processes went into creating that architecture, because it definitely was somebody who had thought quite a bit about it, and it was unique and pretty cool. So a couple days later, in the dream, he was walking by it again, and he says, you know, I had never met the people who built this thing. I didn't have any connection to the property. I was curious about them and what kind of conversations they had, but that was it. And he says, just as he got to the edge of the building, there was a wind that came from the east, and as the wind hit the building, it started to dissipate. It's like it crumbled, but not down. It turned into leaves that blew away, and the leaves were all uniform in shape, but they were of the same texture and color as the house. And he said it didn't take long for it to be completely gone. And he's like, what is this about? And then he noticed that there were their surroundings are still untouched. That it was like there wasn't some kind of concrete pad or something like usually when a building or is demolished. And then it came to him, he goes, oh my gosh, this building was the spiritual creation of some people. They spiritually created everything that they wanted by their dreams and their conversation and their talks and everything. And if it had been held on to long enough, it would be exactly like it was exactly like it was in physical form. But somehow they got distracted, or life happened, or whatever, and they lost their dream. And it started to go away again. And so it turned into nothingness. That's what the law of transmutation is all about. Now, here's what I would love for you to know: how to be lucky in creating your dreams. Is that if there's something that distracts you, that takes you away, it's okay. Reconnect to the big dream again. Like, that's why writing things down and having vision sessions, and that matters so much, because you can reconnect with it and then everything can be drawn to it. The other thing is you've got to envision every step. So I know that sounds really strange, but say I have an overall vision. Okay, let's do this, okay? Other people have a vision that I am finally stepping into, me doing the podcast, right? I got a lot of people that are envisioning it, and they talk about it, and they tell me about it, and they send me videos so I can know how to do it, and the equipment is coming, and all of these things, and I'm getting more excited about the dream. But last night, man, we had distractions, and there was, if we can't even set up an Apple ID account right, how in the world am I going to learn podcasting? And so that little step kind of derailed me, which means I'm not lucky. Lucky people, things just happen to, right? Like, they don't even try. They're just lucky all the time. I don't believe that's true. So today, how I've combated this is I went back into visioning. My husband's home. He's working on it. I'm talking to you. We got some stuff to do today. We're going to nail it. So I'm going to envision playing, like making some videos, stupid ones, like really super stupid, and playing with them and working and learning the program. See, because the trick to being lucky is to see it done, is to see what it looks like on the other side. So my husband is working on getting it done. I'm not seeing how he's doing it. I'm not seeing him on the phone with Apple right now. I am seeing me sitting down and working the program. That is it done. The big picture is still out there. I need to connect to the big. And to be lucky, you got to connect to all the little. Am I lucky? Yes. I'm so lucky. The people that have come together to make the podcast actually happen in a professional way, kind of insane. I didn't do that. I accepted what came. I received. So if you were actually to get a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, would you receive it? Or would you go, oh, I shouldn't be having this gold. I'm lucky, but not that lucky. It's not for me. You know what? I'm a good person. I'm going to give all of my luck to somebody else. And now you don't have anything again. That's another thing that happens. So today, this has been really disjointed. I'm so aware of it. And I'm okay with it. Because we're all just figuring this out. What I know is that I'm going to hold vision that somebody here, this matters to. And that it helps somebody to know that if you're having a problem with the little steps, connect back into the big thing to get belief back in your heart. Create the villa again. Make sure it's all big, right? And once that villa is there, then you envision whatever roadblock is in your way, you envision that step. What do I have to do to get that one done? So let's get lucky today. What is on your plate today that kind of feels impossible? Check your belief. Do you believe you don't have enough time? You don't have enough help? You don't have enough support? You don't have enough money? What do you not have enough of? And then envision it done. If you want help with this, come to my Igniting Your Belief class, because we build belief. would build all of the things that you need to build that Italian villa. You know, it's kind of cool. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.